of Carlton's Council for Change, whose focus is to promote a positive school experience for everyone who walks through our doors. We are here today excited to welcome Live Different back to Carlton for another awesome presentation. Live Different is a Canadian organization that empowers youth to find a cause, be kind, and live simply by caring for people and not stuff.
Last year, the presentation had us all in our own story of the book. This year's presentation looked at reflection
Hello, Carlton. How you guys doing today?
We are Live Different, a Canadian charity, and we're so stoked to be here with you today.
We have volunteers from all over the country who are here to share their real-life stories.
We're going to see some epic fails, find out how similar we all actually are, and hear from our awesome band, Autumn Kings.
So get yourselves ready for an hour of inspiration, laughter, and some music that will rock your face off!
Let's not delay this any longer.
Please give it up for
Autumn Kings!
What's up, Crusaders? Let me hear ya! Ooh, yeah!
hell is taking over you again, and heaven knows it. You're holding back the struggle from within, and now you show it. I want you find you crawling through my mind. It's 25 to light that this was paradise. I jump, you climb. Just cannot find the time to say what's on my mind. Feel like I'm losing, take this from me. Take me away, get me out of here, make no mistake. I run, but you come back, think I come back, try to reach out, but I'm gone. In the moment, it was all I wanted, but now I got it, and let's be honest, you're no good for me. You're searching for a problem I can't find, and I tore my heart out. I run, you find, You're crawling through my mind. It's 25 to life. Thought this was paradise. I jump, you climb. Just cannot find the time to say what's on my mind. Feel like I'm losing. Take this from me. And take me away. Get me out of here. Make no mistake. I run, but you come back. Think you come back. Try to reach out, but I'm gone. In the moment, it was all I wanted, but now I gotta do less. Be honest, you're no good for me. So Crusaders, get your hands up. Woo! Say your prayers, don't be shy. Got you running for your life. Say your prayers, don't be shy. Got you running for your life. Say your prayers, don't be shy. Got you running for your life. Say your prayers, don't be shy. Got you running for your life. Say your prayers, don't be shy. Got you running for your life. Say your prayers, don't be shy. Got you running for your life. Take me away. Get me out of here. Make no mistake. I run, but you come back. Think you come back. Try to reach out, but I'm gone. In the moment, it was all I wanted, but now I got less. Be honest, you're no good for me.
As humans, we love labels. They help us log and categorize the world around us. They make things organized and simple, which is all well and good until we start doing this with people. We decide to label others and then start to label ourselves. These labels are given on the basis of our race, religion, style, hobbies, music, talents, interests, and even sports teams. We hold tightly to our labels, making sure people can see the things that define us. We start to believe that only the people with the same labels as our own deserve our time and respect. These labels begin to act as dividers, as a way to decide who is like us and who is not, who is in and who is out. This is how enemies are created. The truth is, labels are meant for products, not people. If we focus so much on the things that externally divide us, we will never be able to see the dignity and value of people different than us. We will never learn to appreciate that every person has something unique to offer the world. And sometimes we need a reminder that underneath each label is a person with wide eyes and a beating heart that is longing to love and to be loved. Seeing past the labels starts by truly listening to the stories of the ones that we believe to be so different, seeking to understand them, imagining life from their perspective, and choosing to show compassion over judgment. It all starts by fixing our focus beyond the superficial labels that divide us, and instead choosing to see the beauty of every human life. This is what empathy looks like. Fix the focus. Choose empathy first.
Again so much for having us. We're so excited to be here with you today. I have a question for you though. Is anybody here looking forward to winter? Awesome. Me too. You see, I actually consider myself a little bit of a snow angel. Okay, yeah, maybe not an angel, right? But definitely a woman of the north. My name is actually Trisha North, and I was born on a cold Christmas day in a place called Winnipeg, often joked as being called Winterpeg. Yeah, it's cold there a lot. And I literally made for the winter. I even walked through a blizzard one time to get a slushie. That was until I had the opportunity to leave a Winnipeg winter to go to Los Angeles. Yeah, we literally left like 4 feet of snow, landed in a place that had like summer weather and palm trees, and I remember getting off the airplane, kicking off my shoes, slapping on some flip-flops, and running out of the airport into the warm air. It was just awesome, and especially as none of my family had ever really ventured to a place like LA before, let alone for the Grammys. The reason why we were there is my stepdad, who's a music producer and an artist, and he was recognized for his work. He got nominated for a Grammy a couple times, so the family got to go to a trip to LA, and it was awesome. I remember Winnipeg thought so too. You see, they did stories of the family in the newspapers. We had our outfits sponsored, and there was even a documentary crew following the family during the trip. So overall, it was just an incredible experience, and one that definitely left an impression on me. I remember leaving LA with this feeling that I wanted to do something amazing as well. And I love music too growing up. I was actually recording by the time I was 15, writing lyrics by the time I was 12. Is there any 12, 13, or 15-year-olds in the house? Yeah, that's when it all started for me, and I was performing, and the experience on the microphone actually landed me this really dope job after high school. I got to work at a hip-hop radio station in Winnipeg. It was awesome. See, I had my own 5-hour radio show 5 days a week called The Afternoon Boom. I could still remember my first week live on air, sitting in this brand new studio, and they have microphones and a mixing console, and I'm getting used to playing songs and taking listener calls, and I was also checking out some stories online about the new station, which is really cool because we're getting some nice comments. Always good to get those good comments, right? But unfortunately, we were also getting a lot of negative comments, especially in regards to Indigenous youth. See, I'm not too sure if you know, but Winnipeg has the highest population of Indigenous and Métis people than any other city in Canada. Also kind of sad to think, though, that Winnipeg has been considered Canada's most racist city. And I grew up in Winnipeg, right? I've felt the tension and I felt the discrimination growing up, and being in a place like this is definitely frustrating. So, with this new job that I had, being able to speak to my city, I wanted to make a statement. That day, I saw my opportunity. See, I had the perfect song for the statement that I wanted to make, and I got myself ready, and I went on air, and I said something like this. Hey, what's good? It's your girl Sadie, and you're tuned into Streets 104.7. I've been seeing a lot of comments online regarding First Nations people, and I just gotta say, despite what people think and despite what people say, not all of us are falling into the stereotypes. We're stronger than our circumstances, and many of us are rising up to make a difference and will not be set back by the hate. I played the song, and I just remember it was such an empowering moment. I felt for me and for my people. And I believe the words I was saying. I was trying to live a positive lifestyle. That wasn't until I ended up losing a relationship that really meant a lot to me. And I know breaking up is hard for anybody to go through, but for me at the time, it seemed like everything had come to the surface. All the trauma from my past and issues that I hadn't dealt with yet from when I was a kid. I was hurt, and I didn't want to feel. To escape my reality, I started partying a lot. I was doing a lot of drugs, and I ended up making some really bad decisions for myself. I can still remember hitting my lowest point. I'm sitting in a car with one of my friends one summer evening, and I'd become physically addicted. I'd been selling drugs for almost a year. I could honestly say that my life was no longer something that I was proud of. And during conversation with my friend in that car, he suggested that we start bringing drugs up to the reserves. Where everything on a reserve, especially what we were talking about, it could be like milk or bread. These things go for 10 times the price than in the city, especially on an isolated reserve. It hit me hard when he said those words because these were my people and the people I used to stand up for. Thinking back to that moment in the radio station, I had a choice to make that day, and I knew I couldn't go on in that lifestyle any longer. Now, coming to terms with myself at that point was so hard, but I remember a conversation that was even harder. And it happened over what was supposed to be a nice dinner with my mom and my stepdad. And at the time, I was just a mess. I was a mix of emotions. I couldn't even sit there with them. I ended up breaking down. I shared with them my fears of changing and the lifestyle I was trying to leave behind. How I didn't want to be addicted or become another statistic. And what surprised me was that instead of being disappointed with me, they actually listened to what I had to say and encouraged me to continue striving for a better life. They even shared times when they had to make their own major life decisions, like my mom having to leave a lifestyle of being abused by my dad and my stepdad having to leave drinking and drugs and basically life on the streets as well. I knew it wouldn't be easy, but it encouraged me it would be worth it. And it was worth it. See, I'm so thankful that my family and my friends, they empathized with me during my struggles. And they showed me love regardless of where I was at. So I was able to refocus on the important things that were going on in my life. And when someone can empathize with us, it allows us to be real about where we're at, faults and failures, to not only accept them, but to be able to move forward from that place. And that's the opportunity I had. I grew so much as a person over the past couple of years and overcame so many of those things that were holding me back. So just to be able to be here with you today in Carlton is something I'm definitely grateful for. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah. Some people say I'm a little intense. I just say I'm passionate. Spend most of my days here roaming around the parks, trying to convince people to have good conversations. And there's one thing that I've noticed, is that people do not know how to listen anymore. And that is both the P and the pod to any good conversation. People are always distracted. They're on their cell phone. Hashtag the good life, hashtag squad goals, hashtag dope as friendship. And I say, hashtag sit down and have a real conversation, get to know the people around you so you can care for them better. That might be a little long for a hashtag. So, in order to help people with this, I developed RAP. No, it's not a hip-hop, spitfire, gangster kind of thing, it's an acronym. It stands for Reflect, Ask, and Posture. One key to being a good listener is being able to reflect back what the person just said to you. Okay, so she just told you that her brother has moved away from school. So how do you reflect that back to her?
So what you're saying is that ever since your brother left, it's been busy.
Yeah. Full-blown empathy. That's fantastic. Another way to be a good listener is when someone's done talking, ask them a question about what they just said.
Well, I actually never had a dog before.
Okay, so before you jump in there and you start telling her about your pooches and your animals and stuff, why don't you ask her a question about that?
Okay, well, have you at least had any other pets?
Oh, perfect. See, now she feels important and listened to. Yeah, good job. This is listening. Lastly, and probably most important, is posture. Make sure you're welcoming. Uncross your arms. Lean forward. Make eye contact. Don't be distracted. Make sure they know you're there to listen. You know, I just want people to learn how to listen, so that way they can connect and start to understand each other better instead of always being a bunch of to each other. Maybe then this world could be a kinder place.
Guys, I got a question for everybody here in the audience. Has anybody ever watched somebody bail before? And when I see pain, I mean like hard. I mean like so hard, in fact, you could feel the pain they were going through. You guys know what I'm talking about? Yeah, a bunch of us do. Sort of like this guy right here. Check it out. Oh man. Oh man, that hurt. Anybody feel that? You can feel it inside of you, right? And why? Why do we feel that? We feel that because our brains are automatically wired for empathy. Okay, so what is empathy? Empathy is, it's feeling with someone else. It's stepping into someone else's shoes and taking on their thoughts, their feelings, and their emotions. And even if we're not physically going through what they are, our brains still react as though we are, right? Kind of like with this girl here. Check it out. That looks like it hurts every time. I've seen that video so many times. Still hurts. Okay, we have millions of these things in our brains. They're called mirror neurons. And mirror neurons are what actually allow us to feel what other people are feeling. It allows us to mirror the emotions of others, right? Because of that, when we're around people, their emotions, they start to rub off on us. Like, for example, if we're around somebody that's angry, then we start to become angry too, right? Or like if we're around someone that's happy, we start to become happy too. Or like if we're around someone that's sleepy, and start to yawn. Man, sometimes we yawn too. Anybody here yawning in the audience? A lot of times we yawn even when we hear the word yawn, right? Because we have this amazing ability to mirror what other people are doing. And guys, this is the mechanics of empathy. Okay, so we got one more video to show you, but I gotta give you a couple disclaimers. Because what you're about to see is something that you should not try on your own. You'll soon see why. And also, if you have a fear of heights, you might not even want to watch this video. But we gotta play it anyway, so check it out. So even though you're sitting down in your seats, even though you're safe, you can still feel that fear and the anxiety building up inside you, kind of like we're on top of that building, right? And that's because we have this amazing ability to place ourselves in someone else's situation, someone else's circumstances, and feel what they're feeling. And this can be like particularly helpful. Like, for example, if we know someone that's going through a tough time, somebody that's going through something difficult and who's upset, we're able to offer them our compassion. We're able to feel with them, right? If we're around someone that's excited, we can feel with them in that excitement, right? But the reality is because our brains, they're constantly mirroring the world around us. That means we're mirroring what is good, but we're also mirroring what is bad. So we're mirroring the happiness, the laughter, the joy, the excitement. It also means that we're mirroring the fear and the anger, the resentment, the hostility. This is largely why we act, why we feel, why we behave. This is even why we dress in a certain type of way. It's because this thing called empathy is such a powerful thing. And that's why it's so important for us to be able to harness our own natural ability to empathize and to use it for what is good. Because when we constantly engage with empathy, we can start to mirror in life the things that actually are meaningful. And when we consistently do it on a daily basis, we can start to understand the people that are around us because we're able to look at the world from someone else's perspective. Thank you.
I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test, to train them is my cause. I will travel across the land, searching far and wide. Teach Pokemon to understand the power that's inside. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em, mix it with me. I know it's my destiny. Pokemon, oh, you're my best friend in a world we must defend. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em, oh, so true. Our courage will pull us through. You teach me and I'll teach you. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em, oh, gotta catch 'em, oh. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em, mix it with me. I know it's my destiny. Pokemon, oh, you're my best friend in a world we must defend. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em, oh, so true. Our courage will pull us through. And you teach me and I'll teach you. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em, oh, gotta catch 'em, oh, Pokemon.
So my parents wanted to do something last year, so we decided to go to my grandparents' cottage.
I went to a cottage once, and I'm pretty sure it was on like a lake, and it was a mansion, and Jimmy Fallon owned it, and I'm pretty sure that Obama owned it too.
So anyways, we went fishing and...
Yeah, I went fishing once. You'll never believe it. I caught a whole legion of sharks with one fishing rod.
So far! Isn't the band Autumn Kings amazing? You can check them out after the show if you like. They'll be right over there. You can get a picture with them, ask them any questions you might have, see what they have to offer you, or just go over and say hi. I want to share something about myself with you guys. So an interesting fact about me is that I cannot stand the book The Chronicles of Narnia. You know, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. You see, as a kid, even hearing the title of this book would give me a sick feeling in my stomach because The Chronicles of Narnia meant it was classroom reading time. So picture this. I'm sitting in a circle facing my classmates. Some of them are in front of me, and some of them are beside me, and I am dreading that moment it comes my turn to read. Each student was required to read 2 full pages of the book. And for me, that was like asking me to climb Mount Everest backwards. I still remember my classmates snickering and them saying how Justine can't even read a single page. There's this other moment I remember, and I remember this moment so vividly. We were in art class and we were given this art assignment. So I'm sitting at my desk going through the instructions and I'm getting really confused with what's asked me. I look up from my paper to see my classmates getting out of their desks to form a line to handing their art pieces.
And here I was, the only one sitting at my desk, still stuck on that first part. So I felt anxiety come over me. I felt confusion. I felt so scared because I was the only one sitting at my desk. I tried hard to hide my face because I could feel that I was about to cry. But as I looked up from my paper again, I could see my classmates were back at their desks, and they were turning around, giving me a look, and saw me crying at the back of the class alone. So after the bell rang, I decided that I wanted to go to the washroom. So I went up to my teacher and I asked if I could be excused from the class, and I walked down the hallway. When I walked down the hallway, I went to the girls' washroom, but I stopped right at the door. There was a girl in there, and she said my name. She was from my class, and she was worried, and she was wondering why I was so upset today. Another girl jumped in, and she said, "Who cares? She's dumb and weird. She's just doing this to get attention, and nobody likes her anyways." Their conversation continued, and I hung my head and I walked away. When I walked away, that hallway felt like an eternity. I was ashamed that I had cried in class, but most of all, I felt alone. See, my classmates didn't know who I was. My classmates didn't know my story or the type of abuse that I was experiencing at home. They didn't know how badly I wanted a friend, how I didn't want to be alone, how I wanted to be a part of something. And in that one moment, it felt like nobody even cared to take time to understand who I was. This moment soon changed for me, though. You see, it was the final day of grade 8, and we were just given our yearbooks. So we're going around the classroom, we're getting all those signatures, and I needed that last one. Her name was Julia. She was part of the cool kids in my class, and she was also part of that group that had tormented me for so long. I will never forget what she wrote. It was, "You taught me the meaning behind never judge a book by its cover. I am sorry that I judged you before I knew you." When reading this quote from Julia, I felt an overwhelming sense of acceptance. I was no longer mad at my classmates. I didn't hold a grudge for their actions. I was confident that in time, people could come to see who I was. You see, it was the first time in my life that someone reached out and they showed me that I mattered. They showed me that I had a purpose. And that looking back on that first glimmer of hope, I realized that I had that purpose and that I wanted to find that purpose throughout life's challenges. This was my new goal. So I decided that I wanted to go to counseling. I walked in through the doors and I was scared about what was about to happen, but with the help of my counselor, I opened up about my childhood abuse. I was able to bring in my parents and tell them about my life struggles, and to help them to understand who I was. I was finding that purpose. When I got to high school, I was getting A's in my classes. I had many friends, and I graduated with honors because I was no longer ashamed to tell somebody that I need help or to raise my hand in class to notify my teacher that I needed that help. I decided that I wanted to go to college to become a child and youth worker. Throughout this entire time, my struggles with reading and writing had never fully changed. However, my perspective on the matter did. You see, when I was in college, I was placed in an all-girls group home. All of these girls were in foster care, and I remember helping putting this 7-year-old girl to bed. So I walked down the stairs to peek in through her doorway to see her curled up in her bed with her favorite Monster High blanket on and a book in her hand. So I walked through the door, and I began to read her a bedtime story. Keep in mind, to this day, I still struggle with reading books, and this little girl could pick up on that. So she turned to me and asked why I was struggling, how the words were so easy. I stopped the book, and I began to tell her my struggles with reading and writing. Just like how she struggles with math, and she asked me to help her with homework, sometimes I may struggle too and ask her for help, and how that's okay. The next day, the girls were coming home from school, and I read a story to another girl that night. So the other girl walks up to the group, and she announces, "Did you know Justine can't read?" The 7-year-old girl jumped in, and she said, "No, she can read. Sometimes she just needs help." Like how Justine helps us with math homework, sometimes people just need help, and how that's okay. It is truly amazing to hear a 7-year-old girl explain what empathy teaches us. We all have struggles. I have struggles. But to look at that struggles from their own perspective, and for us not to see it as a moment to tear them down, but for us simply to see it as a moment to bring somebody up instead. Thank you guys for listening to my story.
You know what, man? Lately I've just really been contemplating the purpose of life, you know?
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and I really think that I'm actually onto something.
No way, that's amazing.
Yeah, and I guess I've just realized that life's gotta be about more than just me.
Incredible!
I've just been thinking about this ever since Sam dumped me.
Sweet berry ducks, I love this! Use the force, kitten, use the force!
Sin ustedes yo creo que no iba a tener nada. Mi terreno estuviera. Gracias, muchas gracias a todos.
It's 2 a.m. I can't sleep. Maybe I'm a little bit nervous, or anxious, or maybe even a little bit scared. All I know is that it's gonna be an adventure. My name's J.R. Alley, and I have no idea what I'm getting myself into. It starts with one of the hardest goodbyes. And a big leap forward. The butterflies in your chest, the anxiousness, the sweaty palms. But then it's calm. It's here in the towns, long windy roads, and the stop along the shore where you see a beautiful country. Your first glimpse of Mexico. Then it hits you. It hits you so hard that it shakes you to your core. It's not the work. It's not the heat. It's not the building that gets to you. It's the little things, like how adorable Kaylee runs around with not a care in the world, smile from ear to ear. Or how Alfredo loves football and you play. Like how as you work, you build these bonds with people you barely even know. Because it doesn't matter where we're from, or who we are. None of that really matters. It hits you the hardest on the final days, when the mother Angeline reminds you of your own mother, who worked with the interest of her children first. The mother who would do anything to keep her kids safe so they can be someone someday. Because in them you see a family just like yours. A mother just like yours with the same struggles. When it's all over though, then comes the happy part.
Gracias. Muchas gracias a todos.
But maybe that's okay. Maybe that's okay. Maybe that's okay. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But maybe that's okay.
Alright, what an amazing video, right? JR captured what life was like in Mexico so well. In 2015, Dominican Republic, or Habitat for Humanity, released a statistic that said that 1.6 billion people on this earth are living without adequate housing. Now, when we hear that, is that just a statistic? Or are these people with names and faces, families and friends, people like Kaylee and Angeline and Alfredo that we just watched in this video? These are people that show us what hope and what perseverance and what family really mean. You see, I was there in Mexico this summer, and I got to see firsthand what it was like for a family to obtain a safe and clean and dry home. I got to see what it was like for volunteers from all over the country to gather for a single purpose, to help to change the life of a family. And in the process, they changed their own. Since 2005, Live Different has taken thousands of people on these different adventures to various parts in the world where they got to take part in making such a monumental impact in the lives of these families and communities all over the world. And this summer, we want you to be one of those hundreds of students that take part in making such a massive change. See, this is a powerful generation of people. This is a generation, we understand what's going on. And we're able to have the compassion for the people that actually need it. We're able to see this burden that so many people are placed with as something that can be taken together instead of just leaving them alone. This summer I'm going to the Dominican Republic. I'm going to be helping to build a home for another family, and I need help. This is something that sparks anything inside of you. If this brings any type of interest out of you, then we would love to talk to you. Come talk to us at the end of the show at our booth. We'd love to interact with you. You see, Live Different is involved in so many different things around the world. We also have a program where you can work and live in Mexico for 3 months, studying social justice, working in the community. Also, if you're interested in what we're doing right here, we travel all across Canada, sharing our stories, playing music for students just like yourselves. Whatever it is, we'd love to talk to you at the end of the show. You can also say hi to the band, take a picture. Could be one of the most life-changing events you ever go through. I know for me, Mexico really was. Thank you so much.
I really don't know. I don't know what to do next year. Do I want to go to Oxford and study medieval literature? Or do I want to stay with my parents at the bakery? Do you know what I mean? Home, right? It's just so beautiful, and I love my family, but this is an opportunity to go to England. I guess I'm so glad you're listening to me. Thank you so much for listening to me.
Got me spinning in circles, running around, but I keep my head up as I fall to the ground. Your eyes are just an illusion, and something's moving, waiting until you let me go. The world is shaking around me, no limits or boundaries. Gotta keep my head up as I fall to the ground. Your eyes are just an illusion, a panic and confusion, but the heartache will keep me from letting go. I swear it's just an illusion, the total confusion. I'm holding on till you let me go. Your body tells me to move it, and every time I do it, you're running away and away and away. I swear it's just an illusion, the total confusion. I'm holding on till you let me go. Your body tells me to move it, and every time I do it, you're running away. The sky darkens around me, the air won't allow me to spit out the words and the worst is to come. My heart is quivering in my chest, oh the loneliness has taken its toll. I'm no longer free. I feel like running away, but I'm stuck in the moment, frozen until I turn to stone. Your eyes are just an illusion, my life will soon end. The heartache will keep me from letting go. I swear it's just an illusion, total confusion. I'm running until you let me go. Your body tells me to move it, but every time I do it, you're running away and away and away. I swear it's just an illusion, total confusion. I'm running until you let me go. Your body tells me to move it, but every time I do it, you're running away. Give it up for Jake on the guitar. Give it up for T on the bass. Give it up for Jay on the drums. And Joe on the lead vocal. Your body tells me to move it, and every time I do it, you're running away. Thank you guys so much. We're Autumn Kings. We'll be hanging out right there by the doors. If you guys want to take a picture, hang out with us. We love you. Thank you.
All right, I'm back with you now. We're going to do something now, guys, called Have You Ever? What I'm going to do is ask you a series of questions, and I want you to raise your hand up high if something I say describes something you felt or experienced, okay? By the way, right now, totally judge-free zone, okay? Judge-free. All right, first question I have for you. Have you ever pressed like or send and immediately regretted it? Okay, how about this? Have you ever called your teacher mom or dad? Okay. How about this one? Have you ever blamed a fart on someone else or let someone else take the blame? Teachers to your students? You see, there's something freeing about sharing something embarrassing and knowing that you're not alone. I'm so glad I'm not the only one who's called my teacher mom. You see, when we start to share, we discover we all have similar experiences. It's easy for us to think that we're different than the people around us, especially if they're from a different group or background than us, but simply not true. All right, I got a few more questions for you, and hopefully you begin to see how similar we all actually are. Okay. Have you ever felt like no one understands you? Okay. Have you ever had somebody help you through something difficult? Okay. Have you ever felt labeled, judged, or rejected? Have you ever felt appreciated, loved, or accepted by the people around you? See, taking time to see these experiences that we all share is important for developing empathy and choosing kindness. Now, one of the things that blocks us from developing empathy are the divisions that we create between the people around us, again, especially if they're from a different group or background than us. A way to overcome this is to practice awareness. If you can continually think and reflect on the fact that we all share in the same humanity, that we're all connected and far more similar than we are different, then choosing empathy and kindness would be so much easier. If we took time to authentically connect with one another, then this world, your school, your community would be such a greater place. All right, we have a really cool way for you to start practicing empathy today, and it's called a 3-day Big Talk Challenge. We have the information for you up on the screens right now, and basically what it is you can text in, you can take out your phones now and text in empathy 137 to the number on the screen, which is 289-768-5695, and you're going to get a text back for the next 3 days that looks something like this. You're on Team Blue, find another team member and ask them this question. It could be this question. We'll send you a new question for 3 days. And this will create some really cool, deep conversations that you might not normally have in your everyday conversation, like, what is your biggest fear in life? We want as many students as we can to participate, so your school has set a goal of 500 students. If we can get 500 students to text in, then is it Mr. Long? What is it? Longager? Longager. I apologize. The vice president, one of the VPs, Mr. Longager. Yeah, principal. Either way, if we get the goal of 500, then he's going to do a musical duet in the cafeteria at lunchtime. So text in now, and we'll have a live poll of the results at the end of the presentation. Thank you.
Where's your focus?
Picture this. Today, you're not just a student, but a photographer.
With every blink, you capture a moment on your camera. Your eyes are through the same viewfinder as your neighbor, yet you'll find your views develop in different colors.
This is perspective. This is the power of 1,000 words frozen in a frame.
Where's your focus? Even with a backpack slung over your shoulder, you can imagine the paparazzi stares landing right between the straps.
Have you ever felt that?
A typecast in black and white. You hear them whispering.
You say, why are they so cruel, so confusing, so unusual, so...
Unlike me.
Unlike us. Unlike us? What do you mean?
Zoom in on the blurry landscape of your peers and you'll find.
Jessica asked for an extension because she works after school every day.
Marcus gets perfect but never has his hand raised.
The grouchy janitor knows every student's name.
Christopher speaks with an accent because he wasn't raised in these halls.
Veronica's been teased about her body, so she gets changed in the bathroom stall.
They are us. We are them. If a stranger pointed their lens in your direction without a countdown.
No say cheese,
no warning.
And then labeled you based on how well you struck your pose?
Well, I'd call that a snap judgment. There is power in choosing which moments can live forever.
Now turn the camera towards yourself and tell me.
How do you want the world to remember you?
Do you want your yearbook to be nothing but selfies?
What about class portraits? Community.
When individuality is celebrated, we can see through a filter of unity.
There's no better lighting than a smile that flashes with authenticity. So where's your focus? In every frame of your life, there's an opportunity for empathy.
A thank you note to someone whose effort goes unnoticed.
Agreeing to disagree with someone you once called your enemy.
That's one image they can't shake.
By keeping that camera on, you build strength every day that you carry it.
Your eyes are always panning for opportunity.
Wherever you come from.
Whatever lens you were given.
There's a place for you.
So when you're ready,
and when you're not,
know that when every one of us is in focus,
that's when we can see the bigger picture.
All right, guys, what an amazing audience you've been. Can you guys give yourselves a round of applause? Awesome. What a big school, too. What a huge crowd. You guys have been amazing. We really appreciate that. I want to tell you a little bit about myself, but first I want to find out a little bit about you. So I got a question. Who here has gotten to meet their childhood idol before? Anybody here? And by that I mean the person they want to meet more than anyone else in the world. By a show of hands. Let's see them. Okay, a few of us. Not a lot, but a few of us. And that's probably why I feel so fortunate to say that I've gotten to meet mine. Now, who is he? Check him out. His name is Travis Pastrana. Has anybody heard of this guy before? Oh, yeah, a lot of us. Awesome. Okay, so for those of you who don't know who this guy is, he's pretty much the biggest name in motorsports today. I mean from motocross to supercross, rally car racing, NASCAR, Nitro Circus. The guy's got 17 medals in the X Games. I mean, he's kind of a legend, right? You see, for me, growing up, what I wanted more than anything else in the world was to become a professional motocross racer. I mean, I wanted it so bad, and I tried very hard, and I didn't make the cut. And that kind of sucked, right? But it didn't mean I didn't want to be on a race team. I still really wanted to be on a race team. So I went to school, I studied engineering, and eventually I landed a job with these guys. Subaru Rally Team USA. I got to work for the biggest rally car race team in all of North America, almost the world. And to me, this was incredible. This was easily one of the highlights of my life, right? It was amazing. And it might even paint a glamorous picture because I got to not only work with, but I finally got to meet my childhood idol. And to me, this meant so much. And it might even paint a bit of a glamorous picture of my life, right? But I can assure you that it hadn't always been so glamorous. Like, I can remember leading up to high school, leading up to grade 9. I'd switched schools a lot. I switched 4 schools in 4 years. Anybody here move around quite a bit? Yeah, a few of us, right? And for me, that was really difficult because I kept on going into these new crowds of people, and it became difficult for me to make friends. And I can remember being singled out when I was in grade 8 by, I guess, the guy who was like one of the coolest kids in school. And he was like, dude, nobody in this school likes you. And then I went to a different school in grade 8. At the grade 8 graduation dance, I was told that if I were to even show up, that I was going to get beaten up by the biggest kid in school. So, of course, I didn't even go. Then I get to grade 9. And I feel like I have nobody. I mean, for one, I didn't know anybody. And 2, I just had such a hard time reaching out to people. And to top it all up, I was starting to develop this really bad acne, like everywhere. And man, that did not help. I can remember this conversation. I was in geography class, and I'm trying to joke around with this guy, right? We're having fun, saying things that are funny and thinking it's funny. He says to me, dude, why don't you wash your face? And my heart sank, right? Because he didn't know. He had no idea what I was going through. He had no idea what my high school life looked like until that point. How I was struggling to make connections with people. He had no idea. I was staying up until 2 or 3 o'clock every morning trying to figure out how I could fix this problem that I had. He didn't know. And I just wish that I had the perspective that I have right now. I wish that those words that he said to me wouldn't have consumed me for months, but the fact is that they did, right? Sometimes our words can hurt. And I remember trying to open up to somebody about this, about what I was going through. Because for me, it was a tough time. I can remember trying to say something to my mother. We're in the basement, and I'm trying to say something to her. And of course, she thinks, like, everything's fine with Miles. Miles is just a little more quiet, right? But I'm in front of her, I'm trying to say something, and just nothing's coming out. And she's looking at me, and she's like, Miles, like, what's wrong? And I just started to cry, right? Because at the time, I couldn't even turn on a light when I went into a bathroom. I could not look at the person in the mirror. There was such a disconnection between the person that I wanted to be and the person that I was right there. Because I wanted to be that person that could talk to a group of people. But the fact is that if I had a conversation one-on-one with somebody, I couldn't look in their eyes before my stomach would turn to knots, right? I had very low self-confidence. And this period of time lasted for me for a while. It stuck on to me. I tried to fight it, but it kept on staying with me. And I knew that one day it would get better. One day I'd be able to talk to people. And eventually it did. I can remember this one moment that was almost insignificant, yet it was so powerful. And it kind of marked the transition point for me. You see, I went to a Catholic high school. We had to wear uniforms. And this one day, it was out of uniform day. And I was so used to wearing bland clothing. And one day I wore this polo. And I was looking at myself in front of the mirror. I was like, man, do I look like an idiot? Like, are people going to make fun of me? Because I was so worried about being made fun of always, right? And so I get to school. It's first period. I'm already late. Mr. Annelin's tech design class. I walk in. The teacher's like, Mr. Drake, you're late. And I was like, yeah, I already know that. What a great start to the day, right? But this girl who I didn't even know, I talked to her maybe like 3 times ever. She chimed in and she was like, well, hey, he's wearing a really nice shirt. And I was like, what? Me? For real, right? Because she reached out. She had such sincerity in her voice. And she actually meant the words that she said. And she reached out to lift me up, right? But the thing is, I didn't hear a compliment from people for so long because I avoided people. I didn't want to hear what they had to say. I thought it was only going to be bad. That's what I assumed. But because of that, because I avoided people, I didn't hear the good that they had to offer. I really think that's the power of our words. Our words have this amazing ability. They can lift us up, right? But they can also tear us down. And that's what empathy is all about. Empathy is having compassion for the people around us. Because when we step outside of that, We say things like, dude, why don't you wash your face? Like, that kid had no idea. Eventually, I wasn't going to be able to look at myself, right? But yet it can be so easy. Nice shirt? Nice shirt? How could that have such a profound effect on my life? But the reality was that very shortly after that, I met 6 of my best friends in my high school career completely changed. And I don't think that that would have happened without that conversation, the power of our words. And so I ask, what are we saying to one another on a day-to-day basis? Our interactions play a role in our lives. Are we holding people in a high regard? Maybe we should. Because you just never know how someone's life is going to be affected. Thank you.
Beneath this broken, messy world lies a hidden truth. It is weaved into the fabric of the foundations of our universe. Everything we see, everything we know is built on this one principle: connection. From the smallest building block of our world, you see it. Particles connect with other particles to make atoms. Atoms connect with other atoms to make molecules. Molecules connect with other molecules to make cells. And cells connect with other cells to make humans. At each stage of development, elements choose to connect with one another to make something greater than what they could make on their own. Every single thing from the foundation of the earth is designed to be connected, to be a part of something bigger than itself. The same is true for humans. The reason why war, injustice, racism, and inequality affect us so deeply is because it goes against the very structure of our entire universe. We were never designed to be just me, but we were always intended to be us. Right now we have a choice. Will we divide? Choose to focus only on our differences rather than our human likeness? Or will we connect and seek to understand and show compassion to even those who treat us as enemies? Right now we are being challenged to stand in line with the very pattern of the universe, to engage empathy and to learn what it means to love one another. It starts by fixing our focus not on the superficial things that divide, but on the humanity we all share. Allowing ourselves to see the world the way it was meant to be. Connected and unified. Because together we can create something greater than we could ever make on our own. Fix the focus. Choosing empathy first.
Well, we really hope you're beginning to understand the value of practicing empathy in your everyday life. Empathy is a skill that we can use to authentically connect with one another on a deeper level. I just gotta say, it's been an absolute pleasure to be here with you today in Carlton. Again, thank you so much for having us. And thank you. If something has resonated with you, though, we encourage you to reach out to somebody that you can trust. Maybe it's a friend or a family member, even a teacher or a counselor here at your school. You can even come chat with us. We're going to be at the back table at the end of the presentation. And there's also another great resource available for you. It's called the Kids Help Phone. We have the number up on the screens, and we also have cards at our back table. It's a great way, confidential way for students of all ages to connect with somebody that they can trust. So whatever you choose to do, I hope you know you're not alone. And if you want any more information about our programs, come check us out. We're going to be at the back table. We'll answer any of your questions, even if you want to come just say hi, and the band will be over there as well. Now, we had a challenge for you. We had a goal of 500 students. We didn't quite reach the goal, but you can still take part in the 3-day text challenge. You can text the number on the screen with Empathy 137. And I'll talk to them. Maybe he will still do a musical number because he did reach quite a few numbers as well. So we'll see about that afterwards. But again, just want to give a big thanks to our volunteer interns as well as the band for volunteering their time here today, as well as the Boston Pizza Foundation for their support, and your teachers and staff for having us. Please give them all a round of applause. Thank you so much.
are y'all rushing off to? Oh, you're excited to get back to class. I was actually thinking I was going to do a little stand-up. Some comedy for the... No? Okay, no, I don't know any good jokes. Sorry. What did you guys think of the presentation today? Whoa, hold up. Let's try that again. What did you guys think of the presentation today? Nice. So, it's over, it's come to an end. Your instructions now are to go back to your period 4 class. As they mentioned, the band is over there if you would like to go in and say hi, get some pictures. They also have some merchandise over there. But before you leave, let's give Live Different another huge Crusader thank you for coming. Okay, thanks guys. Head her back to period 4.